Okay, so we've been waiting for a good 5 minutes. Hi, everyone. Feel free to join me on camera and audio. I think we'll be ready to start in just a few minutes. Okay, so I think we're gonna begin with the class. I'm sorry to make you all wait. So I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Pamela, and I have Buttercut Bakery. And in today's class, I'm gonna show you how I decorated my gift box cake. Now, before we start, I need to point out that if anyone throughout the videos feels the need to interrupt me, I have no problem. I will pause the video and answer your questions. For people who want to decorate this live, please know that when you finish this class, you are going to receive an email with a link where you will be able to replay this session. So it will be easier for you to pause whenever you need to and decorate your cake. That is completely up to you. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. And you should be able to see the video. Is everyone able to see my video?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So before we start, I have 3 main points to point out. So if you are using buttercream with this cake, make sure that your buttercream is very cold. Make sure that you don't apply these sheets on a crumb coat because it will release air bubbles, and air bubbles will be trapped between the cake and the sheet, which will cause like some air pockets, and you don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna start. This is the video you might have seen on Instagram. Okay, so for this project, we're going to be using edible fabrics from Sugar Art. You can find these on their website. You can find many designs and even have your custom designs made. These are different from the sugar sheets. They are more flexible and thinner. If you do this with sugar sheets, they will tear. But you can also cover the cake with sugar sheets. That is up to you, but this fabric gives the cake a more realistic look for the project. So a quick tip, always put your sheets back in the bag. When they are exposed in air, they do dry, and you don't want that. Either it's fabric or sugar sheets, they have a tendency to dry out. So I have a square cake covered with buttercream. As I've mentioned before, it sat in the fridge overnight. And the same steps apply when you cover your cake with fondant. You are going to follow the same exact steps, the same ingredients, everything. So my cake is about 4.5 inches. It's not a perfect cube. You can use any measurements you want. For this project, you're gonna realize that it's all about measurements. You can use this method on a round cake, on a sheet cake, if you prefer to make like a sheet-shaped gift box. So it's all about measurements. I'm gonna be measuring 2 sides. So I'm gonna cover the cake using 2 sheets. 2 sides will be connected, each 2 sides will be connected. So each sheet is about 21 centimeters, I believe. And the height of my cake is about 10 centimeters. So I'm gonna be marking 10.5 centimeters just to make sure. So what you do is you flip this over. Don't start where the paper starts. So you can see the shadow of the fabric. Measure from the fabric and not from the paper. So as I've mentioned, I'm gonna measure about 10.5 centimeters. Place some dots, and I'm gonna connect dots to get a cleaner cut, a more straight cut. Okay, so you cut this simply using your scissors. Make sure that you cut this before removing it from the white paper, because it's a very thin paper. The fabric is very thin, and it's a bit hard to cut it after removing it from the paper. And I'm putting back the remaining paper in the bag just to be more safe. So as you can see, there's like a little ivory border on these fabrics. And I'm gonna cut all the borders just to make sure that I have a very clean fabric. I'm taking the remaining paper, and I need 2 identical pieces. So I'm just gonna trace the piece I cut to the remaining paper. So I get 2 identical pieces. You do the same process, just mark with your pen, cut with your scissors, clean the borders, and we'll be ready to start applying this on the cake. So yeah, I have 2 identical pieces, as you can see. Now, to apply this on the cake, I use vegetable shortening, and this is a 1-inch brush. This is the brand I use. You can use any brand you want. And you need about 1 teaspoon. Maybe less, it depends on the size of the cake you are using. Just slightly dip your brush in the shortening, and we're gonna brush the whole cake with the shortening. You just need a really thin layer. This is why I mentioned earlier that the cake needs to be very cold, because doing this on a room temperature buttercream will simply ruin it. I don't advise you to use water either. It's buttercream or fondant. Water tends to just ruin fondant, and if you apply too much water, the fabrics will dissolve, because I believe the same fabrics can be used to make the edible laces. So just use vegetable shortening. If you use melted butter on a cold cake, it will just set right away, and you won't be able to to get the same results. So with fondant or buttercream, you can brush vegetable shortening. I found this to be the best method. So I'm gonna measure one of the sides. Each side is about 11 centimeters. So choose one side. If your cake is not a perfect cube like mine, just choose one side, measure that, and mark it. So I have 11 centimeters. You're gonna mark it and just connect this dot with the other edge to create a triangle. I do this just to create a more realistic look on the gift. You can completely just cover them without doing this. So you have the sheet and a little triangle. Don't throw the triangle away. We're going to be applying this later on. So here I'm removing the fabric from the white paper. Do this gently. So you can see the paper is very thin. It's a very thin material. And I'm gonna start applying this from one of the edges. So this is the side you chose when we marked the dot. And make sure that you start from the edge, from one of the edges. You simply smooth this out with your hand. If you're not happy how you apply this, you can simply remove this and put it back on. It will not tear apart. And smooth this out with your hand. So remove any air bubbles and wrap the little triangle on the other side. So the triangle is gonna go here just to add more texture. But before we do that, we're gonna apply the other piece we have, the identical piece we have, to the other two sides. So I'm doing the same thing, just measure the side, place the dot, connect the dot with the other edge, cut this, and it's the same process. So both of the whole squares are going to be facing each other, and the small triangle are going to be facing each other. You apply this the same way. You just start with the edge, you smooth out with your hand, you remove the air bubbles, and you wrap the other piece around the other side. So now we're going to peel off the small triangle. Now, before we apply this, we're going to need to add more vegetable shortening on that piece. Because it's going to go over the fabric that we have already put. So just a little amount of vegetable shortening. And you're going to apply it like that. Just make sure that your edges are covered. You don't want your buttercream to show. So make sure all the edges are connected. And we're going to do the same thing on the remaining side. You can cut the excess you have on the top, but I decided to fold them and just cut the pieces that you don't want. I use my X-Acto knife to remove any excess on the bottom. And what I do is I drag my knife in order to like tuck the fabric under the cake to give it like a gift box, a wrapped gift box look. So I just tuck the fabric under it. So this is my second sheet. And I'm gonna use this sheet to cover the top and the two little triangles we still need to cover on the side. So you're gonna measure your cake, the top of the cake, the sides. Okay, I got 21 centimeters. I'm just gonna line my triangle, and it's the same process really. It's all about measurements. You cut the sheet, you remove it, you apply it. So I'm killing the edges as well. And we're gonna peel this off and place it on the cake. Now you can go from one edge or you can place it on the top. It's up to you. So you can start from the top or start from one of the edges to make sure that the edges are covered. But before I apply it, I'm gonna add some more vegetable shortening on the pieces that I folded because they don't have any vegetable shortening on them. And place it like so. Again, if you feel the need to remove this, you can do this as well. And smooth it out with your hand. Now to add more texture on the sides, we're gonna flip this over and fold two of the edges. If you need to add more vegetable shortening under this piece, you can do this as well. And on the other side as well. Please stop me if you have any questions until now. Okay, and here we have our whole cake covered with the fabrics. And we're gonna move on to make the edible ribbon. So for the edible ribbon, I'm also using fabric, not sheets. The edible ribbon, I don't think the edible ribbon can be made with sheets. It will be better to make it with the fabrics. So these are a few of the sheets I have. These were custom made. This is the silver one, it's very pretty. And this is the color pearl. So of course I'm going to be using the gold one. So for the ribbon, you're going to need 4 stripes for the sides and 5 stripes for the ribbon itself. So I'm going to mark 2 centimeters. You can choose any measuring you want. Just make sure that it fits in one sheet unless you want to invest in 2, of course. So I'm marking 2 centimeter dots on each of the sides. So I'm going to flip this over and mark 2 centimeters as well. This is just to make sure that I get a straight stripe. So we're going to start with 4 stripes and then move on to making the ribbon. You can cut these like we did before, but I'm going to show you a more simple method. And this requires using your X-Acto knife. Your X-Acto knife and a ruler. If you have a longer ruler, this will be way easier, but I don't. So you just need to make sure that your ruler is very secure. So push it down with your hands onto the boards you're cutting and drag your X-Acto knife connecting the 2 dots. As you can see, we have the ivory border, so we're gonna clean this. The same method. And we're simply gonna peel off our first stripe. I'm gonna repeat this. So to get a more straight line, I marked a 2 centimeter dot in the middle. And you're just gonna follow the dots. And this is our second stripe. So again, we're gonna start with 4 stripes. So here I have my 4 stripes. I'm gonna put my sheet back in the bag, so I take my time applying these. So I'm gonna flip these over. I'm using a smaller brush. You can use the same brush you used to apply vegetable shortening on the cake. And I'm gonna apply vegetable shortening on all my stripes. Now each of these stripes is gonna go on one side of the cake. Make sure it's in the middle, and you're gonna smooth this out with your hand, and you're gonna cut the excess. Now don't throw out the excess. We're gonna use this later. So now we're gonna start with the famous ribbon. I'm also cutting 2 centimeter stripes. We need 5 of these. I'm using the same method. Now for these, we're gonna need 3 long ones, like so, and 2 a bit shorter. So I'm going to remove about 2 centimeters from the both stripes that we need to be a bit shorter, and just cut these. And now I'm gonna show you how I folded these stripes. So you're gonna fold this on each side and try to connect them in the middle. Now in the middle, you're gonna see that they connect in a oblique kind of way, like so. So when you're gonna apply vegetable shortening, and you're gonna do this to all the 5 stripes. So the easier method is to apply vegetable shortening in the middle and then fold these, and on the other side as well. And you need them to be as much as you can connect them in the middle. I'm applying vegetable shortening here. If you want them to be more secure, you can add a dot of buttercream. And you're just gonna place the 3 long stripes at the bottom, and the 2 other are gonna go on the top, like so. Now these are the excess that I have from the stripes we applied on the side of the cake. I'm gonna connect 2 and create a cylinder-like shape. You can as well cut a new stripe, but the excess that you cut before will do the job. And we're gonna put this in the middle. Also, if you need the ribbon to be more secure, you can add buttercream. I'm adding vegetable shortening here as well. You can as well add buttercream if you want the ribbon to be more secure. And you're just gonna place this on the cake. And there you have your whole cake, your whole gift box cake. Voila.
Totally good.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, when you come, so we completed the class. I'm gonna be sending you an email containing a PDF. The PDF will have a summary to the class, all the ingredients and tools that you might need, a link to the sheet, and I will send you a different PDF. Usually I send the recipes I used in the PDF of the summary, but since I launched my 2020 book of recipes, I'm gonna send you that. You can find all of my cake recipes and all of my buttercream recipes. Any cake recipe or buttercream recipe would work for this cake. You don't need a special cake recipe, so any recipe you want. And you will also receive the certificate that was posted on the website. And I think Sugar Art will email you the link to this live as well, so you can replay it whenever you want. And that is it. So if anyone has any questions, you can turn on your microphone and ask away. Otherwise, you can exit this session whenever you want. Sorry, I'm just going to the chat. I wasn't able to see the chat before. Do you have any other uses for the fabric? Actually, this is my first cake covered with the fabric. I usually use the sugar sheets, but you can use this on a round cake if you wish. I think a good option will also be cakesicles. This is very easy to apply on cakesicles as well. What you do is you also use vegetable shortening, and this is seriously a fabric. So you like literally, I don't know if you have these on hands, but this is literally a fabric. So I would say cakesicles, any cake shape. I think I'm gonna give that a try on macarons as well. I think so. And for Valentine, we discussed covering these on cake pops, maybe. So you can literally apply these on like anything. Yes, I will be giving other classes I have definitely one class for Valentine. I don't know if these are going to be two classes, so we'll see. My brain is just came up with one idea for Valentine. Yes, of course, I will post if I cover these on macarons. Does it work well on humidity places? So a fridge would be a very humid place, and I placed this in the fridge for 5 days to test it. And what you noticed is the fabric is just looks as good as when you apply it. It dries maybe just a little bit, but it doesn't ruin the look of the cake. You can't see it in any way. Can you give the link to where we can order the fabric? Yes, I will send you. I will send you an email containing a PDF. In the PDF, you will find the links to both the metallic fabric and the fabric I used to cover the whole cake. Yes, all the links again will be available in the PDF, and you can find them on the website of Sugar Art, where you purchased this class. They do offer custom designs as well. So thank you to everyone who has joined me today. Yes, you can use code buttercut20. No, it's butter20 to get 20% off. Yes.
Is butter 20 or okay, butter 20.
It's butter 20. It's also mentioned in the PDF. Don't worry.
Okay. I saw it twice. So
Yeah.
two different things. Thanks.
Okay, so I'm going to stay here for a while. If anyone has any questions, otherwise you can exit this session whenever you want. I will be posting on Instagram if I have any classes, and Sugar Art will be posting on their Instagram as well. They are located in Canada. I'm located in Canada as well. But the shipping is insane. I literally receive my sheets the next day.
Shipping in the US right now is pretty tough.
Yeah. With the COVID and all, the delays are crazy. Yes, that is correct. So I have a class in 1 hour, 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's going to be the sugar cookies tags. And if you bought this class, it will be 50% off, which will be $8. So if you want to register in this class as well, you can do so. I wonder if we can use this fabric to make an ornament cake. Do you mean a like a round, a bowl-shaped cake? Yes, okay. You can, of course you can. This is just gonna, the challenge with applying this on a bowl-shaped cake, I would say you're gonna start from the top, and when you get to the bottom, all you need to do is cut small stripes to tuck the fabric in. So at the bottom, I think it's just gonna be some small layers. Did that answer your question? You're welcome. Yes, you can get customized fabrics. You just email Sugar Art. I'm gonna have their email posted in the PDF as well. And what you do is they will explain the process to do, but I think you just send the picture you want by email, and you can get any image you want printed on a fabric or a sugar sheet. Maybe you can show us this next year on an ornament. That's a very good idea. Some mini cakes classes. You mean apply the sheets on some mini cakes, or how to make mini cakes? Yes, okay, we can do that, how to make mini cakes. What other classes have you had in the past? This is actually my second live class. My first live class was also with Sugar Art. I applied a sugar sheet on a round cake. I'm gonna show you the image. It's posted on my Instagram, but I'm gonna show you the image on my phone. It was a winter landscape kind of image. 1 second. Well, I have so many images here. Okay. So here it is. Okay, I don't know if you can see the cake. This was the cake, the first class I gave. It was a winter landscape. And I have a class, like I mentioned earlier, I have a class at 1 p.m. That's in 1 hour and 15 minutes on some sugar cookies tags. I'm also going to show you the images. If you can't attend the class, you can still buy a recorded live version So these are the cookie tags. And I'll be giving classes for Valentine's Day. So probably at the end of January or at the beginning of February.
Hi, this is Callie.
Hi, Callie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So your main focus is on cakes. Do you do any of the cookies as well?
My main focus is on cakes. But I like to experience with everything. I make cookies. I like to make meringues, cakesicles. But yes, mainly cakes. What are you interested in other than cakes?
Cakes and cookies, and also I saw something on Instagram. It was a meringue, and it had an image at the bottom of the meringue.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
show? How do you make that?
So this is a so you can find the meringue sheets at Sugar Art on their website. They have many sheets for meringues. If you want me to do a class on this, I can do this as well. So if there's a demand on meringues, I would be happy to film a class.
Yes, please. I give a vote.
Okay. So we have a vote from Melissa and from Callie. So I think we're going to add a meringue class to the list.
And if I have any more ideas, I could just email you, to see if you're up for it.
Yes, of course. Please email me the ideas.
Okay. Oh, somebody mentioned cake sickles. You do the cake sickles too?
Yes, I do cakesicles as well. I have a design that went a little viral on Instagram. I'm going to show you that. It's also I also used Sugar Arts. Let me show you which one it was. So it was this one. 1 second. Okay, so it was this one.
Beautiful.
And there's this one as well.
Very nice.
So I also used from sheets from Sugar Art. I love your cake recipes. I made both vanilla cake and chocolate, and they are fabulous. I had no idea. I'm so glad. So I will be sending my book recipe. It's an ebook I made because I shared about 45 recipes on YouTube in 2020. So I put all these recipes in an ebook. It's available for free. And it's also available for $5.99 if you want to support me. Otherwise, you can get it 100% for free. I'm going to send it to you for free, of course. Can you make cakesicle with buttercream or does it have to be chocolate? Do you mean on the outside? Like if do they have to be coated in chocolate? Yes, on the outside. No, you do not need to work with chocolate. I know working with chocolate is frustrating. I hate it. You can basically cakesicles are a mix of cakes and buttercream, so you can just use that. Some people dip them in chocolate if you've seen the method. So you can skip the dipping. You will only get a cake plus buttercream mix, and you can apply fondant, you can apply a sheet, a fabric, whatever you want. So no, you can't skip the chocolate.
Is there a way to make the cake sickles without mixing it with the frosting? Like, can you just have all cake?
You can have all cake, but you need a really moist cake. I've never. I did try it with having only cake. I don't know if you add some simple syrup to the mix, if it will give you like a really nice dough. I've never tried it, honestly.
Have you ever made any of those? Now, maybe mispronouncing it. Is it petite fours or a little candy?
Can you write that down in the chat? I didn't hear you.
Oh, there are. I think they call petite fours or something
Oh,
like.
petit four. Yes, I have made petit four before, but I haven't shared my recipe yet. I've made them like a long time ago. It was something I used to make with my mom. But I'm planning on sharing a recipe on YouTube because I love petit four.
Can you share with us your YouTube channel when you have a chance to?
Yes, of course. My link, the links to my YouTube, my Instagram, and my private Facebook group will be at the end of the PDF I'll be sending you by email.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Melissa, for joining this class. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. See you in next class, Kelly. Thank you for joining this one. Bye.